as promised, second part of 3D AI versus 3D artist. Previously, we generated 3D model from images in parts, combined those parts in Blender, and I also showed how I made amazing AI topology in Hunyuan Studio. In meantime, I also showed how all these steps were taken by my 3D artist, so you can compare AI and classic approach. And now we're ready to move to the next steps. And in the end, we'll show it to the client, check his reaction, and compare the results what I created with AI and my artist created with his hands. Let's go. And here's what my artist do as a next step. She basically take high poly, low poly model. Using Marmoset Toolbag, she will bake textures such as normal map and ambient occlusion from high poly to low poly model. If previous steps was executed correctly, this one is very easy if you know what you do. As a result, you get amazing normal map and ambient occlusion map baked that will highlight all the small details of your character.
Meanwhile,
we don't really need those models for retopo, and we're gonna grab the source model and retopo model. We're gonna select them and we're gonna need to export them as FBX with textures inside. We're gonna call it Hello Baking. And in pass mode, I'm gonna select copy and this button and selected objects only. Export as FBX. That's it. And now we're gonna go to Marmoset Toolbag. I'm using version 4 right now. Still very good for me. And here's the simple thing we need to do is to bake 2 maps. To do that, I'm gonna drop my Halo FBX here with 2 objects. Here we can see the Halo Retopo and Halo Source. Now I'm gonna press on the bread button, which create new bake project. Halo Source will go to high. I'll just drag and drop, and Halo Retopo go to low, and can delete this FBX. Now press on the bake project, go here. In output, let's select the folder. So I'm gonna create folder called Baked Maps and open it and save it as PNG and give it a name Halo. Now here in samples 16, soften just a little bit, 0.1, everything else as it is, and I just need to select 2 maps to bake. Normal, which is already selected, and we're gonna press configure and find albedo metal. Done. And one last thing, we're gonna need to go to Halo Source and see the material and see if the map is connected. So sometimes even if we pack textures, it's not connected right away. So we're gonna need to go to Source, to the Blender, and basically find those textures, image 1 here, and save them manually to the folder. Go back to Marmoset, open the folder, and here I will just drag and drop normal to normal and albedo to albedo. Now if we see the object here, so the object is basically with the textures, and we're gonna bake those textures as a base color. Now we're gonna go press on the bake object again and press bake again. Now if we did everything right, we're gonna see 2 textures for the color and for normal. Amazing. Now we can go back to our project, select Halo Retopo, and here we're gonna create new material and drop these 2 textures here and connect them. Let's connect base color like this. And for this one, we're gonna need additional node called normal map color. And don't forget, in color space of normal map, we always need to select non-color. So here it is. It is still our optimized model, but already with the texture baked. That will be our base for painting in later stages. Now also to prepare it completely, we're gonna select, go to edit mode, press A, and in mesh, we're gonna just go shading and smooth edges, so there are no sharp edges like this and no broken shading. The halo done. Let's do exactly the same for our body. So we're gonna export both textures as FBX. Let's call it body baking. Selected objects, copy. Well, I try to export all the textures, but I'm not sure it will be exported. Now here I can delete bake project, wait a little bit that it's exported. Let's go to Marmoset Toolbag, to the folder, find our body, drag and drop it here. Let's hide our retopo model, and here we see the source model, and there are 3 materials. 3 materials that empty. This one we can delete, and this one default like it's for that, and these 3 materials are basically from our source, and we can see there are 3 materials. Material number 4, 5, 6, right? So okay, so go to material number 4, and we're gonna need to basically extract the maps. Base color, let's save this guy. Image 4, normal map, Save. Fine, all maps connected. We're gonna create big project again by pressing bread. Let's drag source to high and retopo to low. Go check settings. Again, let's choose the folder, baked maps, but this time let's call it body and choose the PNG 16, soften to 0.15. Right, everything's fine, and here we also need to add one more map, normals and albedo. Basically that's it. Gonna press bake, wait a little bit, go to our folder and see if we actually have the texture and color baked. Yes, we did. Let's disable our source, go here, create new material, we can call it body. Let's drag those two textures here. Let's connect the normal with normal map node as well. Here we are. Don't forget to select non-color for normal. And here is our avatar. Not bad. Of course, we didn't bake all the properties, but I will save time this time because they are very simple and we can actually move to next step.
But before we move on, many people actually ask me like, how do I get so much consistent inquiries? That's because I invested some time into building my own website that are also useful for people and also brings me additional projects. And with this new year energy, it is actually time to turn one day to day one and start investing in your future. And if your goal is a website or you're planning to start selling online, I want to highly recommend new Hostinger website builder. It is absolutely amazing tool intertwined with the solid infrastructure provider and of course powered by AI, and it costs less than coffee. Let me show you something. We're gonna go to websites and press add a website. I'm gonna select Hostinger website builder. First, we're gonna enter the website name. Let it be Stefan 3D AI. And here you basically give the context of the website you're creating. For me, it's gonna be, I have my YouTube channel and I want to show what cool videos I create and find sponsorship opportunities. And I also want to start selling my courses. Not yet, but maybe in the future. And then we hit the create website and let this guy cook. And just like that, the website is already created. And we're gonna press continue to edit website, and here we can actually set the images as easy as it can be. We can move things around. We can also use AI assistant to basically help us to add new section, replace images, or even generate an images. So you can press to generate an image here, press generate. Just like this, you can also place your images and you have complete freedom, and the assistant will help you a lot. Website builder also significantly helps with the SEO, which for me is the most annoying part. And Hostinger AI will help to make your website visible all across the internet. And right now, Hostinger has New Year's sale and the price with discount is absolutely ridiculous. And if you're gonna use my coupon code, you'll get extra 10% off. Link and code in the description.
Next step, we're gonna do texturing.
Meanwhile,
ambient occlusion and normal map baked. Now it's time for painting. For me, this is truly difficult and requires a lot of skills. Even though this character might look simple, it took some time of professional artist to paint everything nicely, every detail and stuff. Enjoy the time lapse.
meanwhile,
So for this one, we're gonna export this as GLB right now. Let's include only selected object, and we can actually replace GLB we exported earlier since we don't need them. And let's do the same for Halo object. We're gonna need it. Gonna export it same way. Make sure it's only the selected. Right. And for this one, we're gonna need Modiff, an absolutely amazing AI tool that allow you to do texturing very quick and cool. We're gonna go to Modiff, we're gonna create new project, make it private. This is a secret video I'm working on right now. And let's import basically these two objects. All right, now we have two objects. Press on the object and go to texture mode. That's exactly what we need. And now I'm gonna show you the really cool things. Now look at the texture we have right now, right? I mean, there's a lot of things, blurriness. Again, we just baked, and here we can also check the normal we baked, which is absolutely amazing. And this is our key advantage in how we're gonna texture it. So we're gonna go to flat color for a while, and we're gonna fix all this imperfection. And for that, it's time to basically start painting. So here's how it works. We're gonna hide this one. We're gonna add our prompt images. All the prompt images that we created, we can already delete all the textures from the folder. Let's add them all. Let's add helmet. Let's add front. Now I'm gonna choose front view. I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna add new layer, select Inpainting tool. With shift, we'll choose the brush size. Gonna paint, hold this area, and we go one by one. Choose Inpaint, but before Inpaint, let's actually generate an image. So what's gonna happen now? It basically takes a projection, takes my image as an input, and will give me an image that will align perfectly with the view, so I can basically paint on top. Let's wait a little bit and it start generating. All right, so look really not bad. And here is what I can do. I can just reveal it with my brush when I select Inpaint. Looks amazing, but we can even go further because we can go to settings. And here there is a source image. And since we have a nicely baked normal map from high poly, we can choose a normal map and it will actually follow these lines when it will come up with the texture. And this is exactly what I want. I tested many options and this probably in most of the cases, if I want to follow the line, this is good. Sometimes I will disable that and let's get started. Just look how cool it is. And it's super simple. I think we can make it in time. Let's press again. Absolutely beautiful. Now, here's one thing that you need to know. I'm also a lazy person. Since the time here is very valuable, I'm gonna do only one side. And I guess you know why. Because I will basically cut it in half and mirror right after. Just make sure that the texture comes up as desired, but so far I'm just amazed how good it is. Switch to the back view. Let's inpaint this area. I think it's not exactly as my reference of the back, so I'm gonna try to disable it for now and try to generate. Okay, so in this case I had to disable normal map because it was not doing the exactly by the reference and I want to follow my reference. So we're gonna paint this part like this. Oh my god, this is so amazing. Looks just amazing. Okay, we're gonna do hands now. The good news, I need to do only one hand because I'm gonna mirror it later. Alright guys, it's over. I actually finished it. It took longer than I expected, so I was planning to fit within an hour in total, but it's already almost 1.5 hours past. But I really like the result. It is amazing. So again, like I did only one part. Of course, I can spend more time and adjust the color and stuff, but I can do it different way. I also did the holo in the same way. I only did the front part. It was easier, but because battery on the camera died, I don't have all the recordings, but you can see the result. So let's basically export it like this and drop it to Blender. So I already did that. Here is our body. So you might see the normal map is not connected. That's for a reason, because the old normal map will not work. Old normal map look like this. So if we connect it to the color, we can see that it's not really follow the pattern that we created. That's totally fine. We will disconnect it. And now guys, here's our objects. I show you some really cool thing. When you have color texture and you're basically happy with it, so what we can do, we can actually drop it to Nano Banana and basically ask it to make a normal map from it. And what I actually did is dropped it, and after like one generation I got something like this. Basically I got this one, already dropped it here. Let me connect it right now and show you what it's look like. It actually fits perfect. Boom, boom. Fine. In the same way, I actually went and created the emission map, and here it is. You might need like more than one try if your prompt is not very specific like mine. Here we can download it, drop it here, and I'm gonna connect it to emission, and here we go. Look how cool is that. I did this emission map just in 1 second, and here we go. I mean, that's amazing in my opinion. Let's do the same for our halo. I don't really need a normal map here, but I want to have an emission map, of course. So let's drop a texture here. Here is the halo texture. Let's run the prompt with Nano Banana Pro. All right, here we go. So it can be this way, but I prefer this way. So let's download this one and drop it to Blender. I will not need normal map anymore. Okay, let's connect it here and let's add up a little bit. That's actually what I want. Yes, the final step now is to mirror it. Let's do that for Halo. So I painted it like from this side. This one is broken. So we're gonna again create cube. Place it somewhere here, -1, and we'll slice it like before. So I'm gonna select this object, go to modifier, boolean, boom, apply, delete cube, and now let's basically mirror it. Boom. Here we go. And we can apply the result. Now let's see our body. Here we're gonna do it exactly the same. Let's create cube again. Boom, boom, go boolean. Select cube, apply, delete cube, mirror, different axis. All right, and now it's mirrored. We are all set. That was super fun, and I mean, guys, less than 2 hours, we created this and this. Look how amazing it looks. So before I wrap it up and actually we'll send it to the customer, we need to do the very last step to rig it in Mixamo, and for characters like this is super easy.
Meanwhile.
And the last step will be a little bit similar because customer requested Mixamo compatible rig, so she actually went to Mixamo and rigged it there, but this is only the beginning. After that, she exported with one of the animation, and here it starts. You basically go through the keyframes, check out how arms and legs are bent and how good it is. She also had to connect Halo in the right way, and the most annoying part, of course, is the weight distribution. So you can see you basically go through each bone and fix it. This is relatively very easy character, but for some complicated, this process might take days. So even for simple character, to do a decent job, it will take at least few hours. Finally, job is done. Let's make some renders and send it to the client.
Meanwhile,
we're gonna go to Mixamo, upload our character. Before that, I'll need to export our character as OBJ. Export OBJ. Make sure that's selected only. Okay. And everything else is default. Now we're gonna go here, select the character. Let's select our Android OBJ. Now let's make sure that our character looks right into the camera. So we're gonna need to rotate it a little bit, and we're gonna go and press the markers as suggested here. Again, it's very easy. You just follow the instruction here. I'm gonna set a wrist, elbow, standard skeleton, use symmetry, all good. Now let's wait a little bit and we get our character animated very soon. Okay, so here is our character ready. We already can preview some animation, which looks amazing. Let's press next. Let's replace the character that we already have. We're gonna need to go to animation tab and find some walk animation, for example. Well, this one actually looks quite nice. We can set to run animation in place. All right, this 41 frame, we can remember that to test. We can see that arms are a little bit too close in the body. That's easy to fix with this parameter. All right, so there will be arms a little bit wider than this. Fine, I'm pretty happy with the animation. Let's download it and test it in textures. I downloaded it basically in very basic settings. Now I'm gonna drag and drop that FBX right here into Blender. Note that when you drop it, there will be an armature, an object, and that armature is usually scaled like crazy. So it's easy to fix, just give it like 1:1:1 scale. So we're gonna set scale, that's fine. Now we can hide our texture at 1. Here we need to apply the same material. Super cool. Since rotation is very important for Mixamo animation, we're gonna not touch it. We're gonna rotate the halo as well. Let's put it somewhere here. We're gonna attach it very soon, right? So now it's like front. And guys, look how amazing it is. To basically loop the animation, we can go to timeline and set it to 41 frame. And here it is. See, it's looped right now. I think this is amazing that everyone now can do anything like this with custom characters that quick. I think this is just legendary. I also never thought I will be doing characters because that's definitely not my best part. I'm a technical artist and 3D engineer. But now everyone can do it. Now let's do the very last part. Let's attach halo and we are done here. I'm gonna need to set a rest pose somewhere on the 0 frame. Gonna go to 0 frame. Gonna go to select armature, pose mode, A to select everything, pose, clear transform, all. And this will be basically the rest position. Now I can go to the halo. I need to position it again where I want it to be. Position somewhere here. Looks good. Now I basically need to attach this object with Ctrl J. So I need to select the halo and then select the object I'm attaching it to. Ctrl J, now it's attached. But I need to go here, select, hold this object, go back to armature, press on armature with shift, press on the body with this halo, go to weight paint. And now I need to make sure I attaching this halo to the correct bone. So I'm thinking that I need to attach it to this bone. So with Alt, I can press on the bone and see what basically is attached to this bone. So yeah, you see it's blue, it means that this bone doesn't affect it at all. We're gonna go to vertex selection, and since you see they are like white because I was previously selected like this, and we're gonna go to weight, set weight, and that's it. So now this halo will always follow this bone. We're gonna go to object mode, and now we can run the animation again. We're gonna go to the shading mode. Boom, that's super cool. The only problem is that my object doesn't use correct material for some reason. Oh, I know what's wrong. So basically they use the same UVs. Yeah, so we're gonna need to connect different UVs to materials. We just go to the material and here we add UV and select the right UV ourselves. Okay, quick fix will happen when you unite the objects. And another one we can rename to UV map, and ideally we do the same here. Here we go. If you want like this to be connected to some other bones, so it got less movement, that's not a problem. You can connect it to any other bone or reconnect it. Here I am. Here's my results. And finally, let's see what customer will say about it. This was extremely intense. So you can see the time. I basically started around 3 p.m. and I sent it already to the client in 5 p.m. So total time I spent working on it was almost 2 hours. And here you can see a reaction of him. Well, he definitely was surprised. But of course, guys, we also will send him a properly created model, so no one can tell they used AI. Everyone use AI, but they don't tell you. Guys, please do as this guy asked, like and subscribe to get more content like this. Now let's compare it with the manually created one. So once again, this is mine, and here's how animation looks. It looks quite cool, but we can see some things are off, like these armpits. Basically, this is the same feedback that developers from client side mentioned, and of course Mixamo Autorig still has a lot of problems, and this is simple character. Imagine what might happen to a difficult character. But good thing you can fix it very fast, and here is the manually created version. Look how cool, how smooth everything is. Perfect topology, everything absolutely clean, and here's how animation works. Isn't that cool? Wow. Amazing job. Now guys, it's time for you to basically tell me how good it is, and would you actually use AI in real development? I always read all the comments and I appreciate your support. I only create this video thanks to you. See you soon.